And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. Man, I finally downloaded the audio noise to software just to get the background noise out. Hey, look at that. I'm putting some production quality into this, making things sound a little bit better, a little bit nicer, or whatever. Maybe something you can be able to hear it better through your shitty ass phone speakers or your headphones, I guess, wherever you want to listen to. As I'm recording, I'm checking the levels and stuff, and hopefully it all comes in good. And if it doesn't, well, fuck it, it'll be better next episode. So, and it sucks too because I record in like my living room. So I guess whenever I move into my next house, I think I'm just gonna set up a whole separate room. I pretty much always had a four-bedroom house, but that fourth bedroom is always just like random things in there, or it really was just the price. If the price was right, I was like, whatever, fuck it, I'll just take it. Price and location or whatever I needed at that time. But for my house, where I'm actually gonna purchase my first home, I'm really gonna put a lot of thought into where I'm gonna be at, and the layout of the house and things of that nature. Because I done rented and lived in a whole bunch of different houses to kind of have an idea, well, really have a specific idea of what type of house I want to live in, what neighborhood I want to live in, what area in the city where I want to live at and stuff. So, trial and error, pretty much. Man, so, once as always, a bunch of shit goes on in the world. The other day, though, when I've been waiting on this for a while, man, the Microsoft Xbox Series X and Series X pre-orders dropped. And I was freaking out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was freaking out, bro. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get it or not. Nah, I'm playing. I wasn't freaking out, but I had everything set up. I usually use my phone for purchases, but this time I was like, nah. I'm gonna get on the internet. I'm gonna sit on my computer, and I'm gonna have the web pages open up. Just wherever fucking works, and wherever doesn't, hey, fuck it, move on to the next one or whatever. So I had one web page up for Amazon because I buy all my stuff through Amazon anyway. So that was just wherever I know I can not have to worry about typing in my name and address and shit. Things that are gonna take a couple extra seconds where I won't be able to get my pre-order in. And then I had what was it? Best Buy open up right at 11 a.m. Eastern time is when the pre-order launch happened. Shit wasn't fucking working. Amazon put up a picture of a fucking dog. Bro, I ain't trying to see no fucking dog, man. What are you doing? Oh, it's a cute little dog. Something went wrong. If you don't get this fucking dog out my face, man. God damn, I don't need all these little pictures and stuff to make me feel good, to make me calm down. No, get your shit to work, bro. What are you doing? This shit ain't fucking working, man. And I got on there, and then it was crazy too, cause like I kept trying to find different articles. I was like, man, nobody updates their articles and shit. And I was like, I just need that one article that has all the links. So eventually I found the right article that had all the links. So I had that open as well on another web page. And that's what it helped me out the most. I used that web page right there. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just clicking links. This doesn't work, that doesn't work. So eventually what happened was I went to, I think it was either Best Buy or Walmart. I can't remember. No, yeah. Eventually, what happened was I went to Walmart, but I had put in the cart to buy the X, the Series X, and the Series S, but the Series X didn't pop up, but the Series S did, and it said it was available. And so I bought one. Then I was like, I want to go back to buy the Series X, and it kept saying out of stock, out of stock. And this is all on Walmart website. And then as I was still trying to click on Amazon and Best Buy's website, because Best Buy is the website I actually used in 2017 when they dropped the One X. So that worked for me with no problem, fine. And if anything, it's right down the street from my house. If I have to, I'll go pick it up on launch day, or on launch day, the official launch day. But nope, or the official release day, I mean. But nope, Best Buy didn't work either. I'm like, shit, man, you know. And this is the same thing happened with Sony's launch, pre-order launch, and then they had issues, and everybody was freaking out, and it was like, I didn't, I did not expect Microsoft to be any different because I don't know whether people, it's it's a bunch of third-party servers. Because even though you have a website, only Amazon has their servers. They actually own servers. You have Amazon Web Servers, which they own their servers and stuff like that. Walmart, Target, Best Buy. I don't know if they own their own servers or are they using a third party company or using cloud servers. Hell, they might all be using fucking Amazon Web Services. I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna try wherever I can try. But part of me kind of makes me wonder, like, this is a great way to, bring out controversy. Because what they say in business and publicity and stuff, there's no such thing as bad publicity. There really isn't. As long as you can shine a light on your corporation or on your product or wherever you're trying to sell, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it gets people paying attention to it. And from there, it's, if you can spin it the right way, hey. Because as I'm sitting there trying to buy, I actually ended up buying it on Walmart. I just kept trying. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep pressing refresh, keep trying, keep trying. It only took me like, as I say all this, it took me like 10 fucking minutes. And I seen on Twitter and different YouTube and different content creators I watch and stuff. I'm sitting there like, man, y'all, everybody has all these issues stuff. I'm like, I don't know if I got lucky or what the fuck is going on, but I mean, it was messing up for a little while, but it took like 10 minutes. That's it. Hell, uh, it's harder for sneaker drops on a sneaker app when I try to get those shoes. And fuck, every now and then, like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15 times, I might actually get the release when it happens and stuff. But as far as tennis shoes goes, I resell those. Hey man, if people are willing to pay something on resale for a higher price than what it went for retail, I'm obliged to, meet meet their demands, make their dreams come true at a higher price. Why take the profit? Is that not capitalism? Is that not free trade market? Is that not America? Is that not industrial complex? The industry, what we do and stuff. I mean, it is what it is, but touch on that a little bit later too. I'm happy I got it. I feel good. I wanted it. Well, I got one for myself, and then try not to be. I try to be equal to my kids because they're both gamers too. So if I get one for myself, well, not basically my One X. Obviously, I'm getting a new Series X, so I'm not gonna use the One X no more. So I got two kids. I gave it to one kid. Now the other kid still has the old, slower Xbox. And just to make things equal, I bought a newer one for one of the other ones, and I already determined who gets who and whatnot. I mean, there's not that much of a difference, but yeah. And for me and my family, we like to play video games. The kids like to play their video games. Really, they just like to socialize with their friends, and it's just something for all their friends to do and stay connected and stuff wherever they live different parts of the city or whatnot, and things of that nature. Before any of you fucking people want to criticize me. Everybody always got some criticism. Everybody got some shit to say. But it is what it is, whatever. But I had it pretty much set up the way I wanted to have it set up and stuff. So, and I've been planning on making this purchase for over a year. So the money has already been there. And only thing that kind of threw me off, I didn't know Xbox was coming out with the Series S. I guess launching with their digital, cheaper version or whatever. So, but that was like $300. Once again, I save my money, I invest. So these purchases may seem extreme, but they're not if you actually plan it out right. Because people don't understand with their money and stuff, like, oh, how can you spend this money on that? You can spend your money on wherever the fuck you want to spend your money on. In fact, the whole point you're supposed to spend money. So once your needs are met, then you can do other things with it. But as long as you make a smart, balanced purchase and not have emotions. Like I thought about this purchase for 3 years now, so it wasn't nowhere coming as a surprise. And even when I heard about the Series S, I was ready to, okay, I was like, all right, well, I'll make sure I go ahead and save up money for that too. So anytime I buy any purchases, it's really I make that purchase, but I also make sure I invest the same amount. I'll save up for something, but I make sure I also put money away and invest. So actually, me buying that pair of shoes and the potential price of it for resale, I'm holding out for a higher price. But even if I wanted to resell it right now, it's literally enough. The profit is enough to buy the Xbox Series S. And that's how simple money is. Bam. That's how simple this shit is, man. That's all it is. But I'm pretty excited. I haven't been playing any too much video games because, well, they all suck right now for the most part. And I said before, it's my time here where I'm playing Madden and all that stuff. Madden sucks. And then I didn't buy a new NBA 2K, which I only bought it the first time last year. And this year is like damn near a carbon copy of last year. So I'm just waiting for the new games to come out and stuff. And I've been picking up my a hobby that I used to do. Didn't do as much, but I sporadically done it throughout ever since I was probably like 17 or something. Is make music. Like I said before, like the intro track, the music you hear at the beginning of this podcast. That's something I made. So, but I bought a little MIDI keyboard and stuff, and so I'm making music on GarageBand. Not necessarily like rap songs or any type of genre of music. Just, be honest with you, I'm making shit that I feel like listening to while I'm sitting at home in my car. I guess you have like those kind of chill lo-fi beats. So I'm kind of making some of those things, but just music I just want to listen to. Because I'm like, man, I don't like some of this music that's out. Fuck it. I'll make my own. And it helps me with my creativity and gives me hobbies and stuff to do to throughout the day or whatnot as I'm doing other things, whatever. I got like one more class, maybe two more classes, so I'll be done with my degree by the end of this year. So maybe, you might start to see a little bit more podcasts from me. You might see a little bit more content. I'm teetering on whether or not I want to make a YouTube channel. Uh, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know though. YouTube tripping, man. And the shit I talk about, I don't want to get banned. Because if they ban your channel, they take that bitch down. Like, whoa, whoa, chill out. They give you a couple warnings, but so I don't know. And I seen BitChute website, and I thought about maybe I don't know about that one either. We'll see. But if anything, I'm definitely gonna continue with the podcast. So y'all continue to look out, and I appreciate anybody and everybody who listens to this and got over a couple of hundred listens, which is pretty decent when you think about it, because I only got like this is a 30-second episode, and I'm talking about topics that aren't really. I mean, they're interesting, but at the same time, I'm giving perspectives that I know people don't always agree with or want to hear from. But yeah, it is what it is. So, in my blog site, I'll probably start paying more attention to that. I mean, I put stuff all the time, like quotes and poems and every now and then. And I was going through a period where these past few months where I've been sharing more videos on my blog site too. But I'm not gonna lie, just a lot of bare basic stuff. Like there's some background. I need to spice up more, change the theme and stuff and whatnot. So it's those things I'll focus on more, because man, I can only do so much a day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm doing this podcast now because I've just been meaning to talk about things, but I'm more concerned about my homework, even though I can knock it out. But like I said, it's me focusing and paying attention is usually the big issue from my mindset, pretty much, as I say it. Did that even make sense? I don't even know. I just kind of, I just like my brain just wanders somewhere else real quick. 'Cause I looked at my phone. My fucking watch keeps going off and notifications. I guess more or less I'm looking at my phone to make sure there's no text messages, no nothing from the school or whatever. Check my emails, make sure nothing wrong with the kids and stuff like that. But yeah. So let's talk about the news of America. Right? Did that sound good? Nah. I've been noticing on the media and stuff, like I understand it's a complete bias towards Trump, and I get it. I understand what's going on. They don't like this motherfucker. Okay, cool. But come on, man. At some point, give credit when credit is due. Yes, there's an agenda. Yes, you don't like them. Yes, you want them out. Yes, you want to put in control your own type of government. Well, you want the shit the way it's been going, where you can pay off whoever president and stuff that goes in there. That's what I think your vote counts, but it doesn't matter who you vote for because they know that there's enough money and resources to buy off people. Check your not council, committee of 300, Skull and Bones, your Illuminati's, your Bilderberg groups, and all this other stuff. Motherfuckers really sitting and having hell. They probably having Zoom call meetings now. Hey, we're gonna do this. Oh man, that's a great idea. We should do this. But yeah, they want them out. But there's something too. Like these motherfuckers been making these peace treaties in the Middle East. Like and those revelations and stuff in the biblical times where we're all about to blow up and die and everybody catch the world on fucking fire. Which I'm not too big of a fan on. I've been watching Revelations and knowing things about that since I was a kid, because the times I went to church. But I ain't gonna lie to you, it's like the best part of the New Testament, bro. It's the flames and fire of hell and all that other stuff. And then you ever read Dante's Inferno, the seven circles of hell and all those other things, or seven layers, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I know about the Book of Revelation. Watching History Channel, TLC, Discovery Channel, documentaries when I was a kid. I always watch documentaries. I don't know, they're just interesting to me. But I always watch them and stuff. So it makes you think, you got peace in the Middle East. Shit's about to fucking blow up right now, right? We're all psychologically scarred from the mind fuck that the year 2020 has been. But guess what? 2020 zero. Zero is the beginning. So we haven't really entered into the new age as far as the 21st century. And not necessarily the age of Aquarius per se, but which I think the Mayan calendar is based off of, going into a new age, the age of Aquarius, or a new consciousness. We obviously are, everybody's starting to become aware of everything. It's just different level of awareness, and the way your emotions are affected. We're like, oh, we're being aware of this racism, or systematic racism, or injustice, and we're aware of how these things work. Yeah, but you gotta be careful, because your emotions are being played. You're being manipulated. And it's not that hard, like we talked about before. But I say, give credit where credit is due. Trump is, putting out these peace agreements, man. It's like the Middle East, not Iran, Israel, Bahrain, I forget who else. And then I don't know if anybody even fucking noticed that at all, but North Korea and South Korea made peace. They agreed to get rid of their nuclear weapons or any procurement of nuclear weapons. That just happened the other day. And it's like, oh wow, nobody's talking about this, huh? Nobody's talking about the Burmesa report, which has been investigating, what's his name, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. Ukraine government is bringing up charges against the Biden family for corruption, bribery. You don't hear about it. Interesting, right? Shit is wild. Epstein's flight logs. They got him. And then they're even more damaging than the initial flight logs that let us know about Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew and these other people that you've probably seen in the Netflix documentary, or you heard on even on mainstream media news. And for those of you like, well, Trump was there too. Yeah. And there's also an interview clip from 2015 where Trump said, yeah, don't go there. That place is a cesspool. What is it? Is it Cindy McCain, or I think it's John McCain, I think his daughter or something like that? Said, oh, we all knew about Epstein, we just didn't talk about it. But isn't that how it goes? Don't you have, people within your work area, your school, whatever, your family, friends, that, hey, we know they do some shady shit. We just don't talk about it. Because that's what it comes down to, right? Like, yeah, hey, when they get arrested, like, everybody's just like, they make that face, like, See, that's why I probably need to do YouTube videos. Cause I'm making faces. Nobody sees this face. Nobody but my ass. And I don't even see my face. I just feel that I know I'm making this face. But it is what it is, man. You got all these things going on. But guess what they always do? Hit you with the race story, right? Hit you with that Breonna Taylor case, right? You're not paying attention because we're all caught up in Breonna Taylor case, and that even myself, I was like, man, I was getting caught up in a little bit of it, and I was like, no, don't get caught up in this because you already know what the deal is. You need to pay attention to what the fuck else is going on. So as I'm scouring through Twitter, and then there's another app, I think Top News or 360 News or whatever, it was AI algorithm software and stuff that you pick the news that you want and stuff. But on that app, it's all finance. Pretty much, I care about finance. If you follow the money and you pay attention to money, pay attention to people's actions and the money, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's not. I mean, you ain't gotta think about conspiracies, none of that stuff. You ain't gotta think about it. Just, bro, everyone has a plan. Everybody has a plan. It's all strategic. Everything is done by design. We're in a world dominated, ruled by humans for the most part, and if all this shit is made up by us humans, why can't motherfuckers just make some other shit up? We have all these political ideologies and all these different type of theories for economics, like the Keynesian economics and all that other stuff. Bro, just shit people make it up. That's all it is. Just make it up. No, they can make it up, do it, and not do it at the same time. And they can rebrand anything. Hell, I think there's the OCC, the Office Comp Controller, or I forget what the abbreviation is, but the dude from Coinbase, the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Brooks, became the director of OCC, which I know we talked about before. Hey, I go from being a private company to, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make the fucking laws. Like I said, even though Trump could be doing good things, I'm still sketchy to everybody because follow the money. He's a businessman. Guess what he's doing? Business deals. Peace in the Middle East? What other way can you get peace? Unless you're brokering a business agreement. Business, bro. That's all it is, man. Business. Everything's money. Once you really start to follow money, you start to realize none of this shit matters. No, they don't care about race. They don't care. These motherfuckers don't care about anything. They'll do deals with whoever they need to do deals with. And every now and then they might hit some type of, moral dilemma, and that's for them to decide. Think about all your celebrities. Think about the things they said in the past. Even content creators on YouTube. Everybody seems to be fine to a certain level. Then once it gets to a certain level, and they reach this X amount of money or X amount of income, hell, they can, even if it's like $100,000 a year. Bro, do you think you're about to jeopardize your $100,000 a year income? I don't know. That's why, hey, I'm gonna use these. Hell, if anything, these podcasts will remind me of who I am to make sure I never go too stray or stray too far away from who I am. Cause say I become a multi-millionaire and I start to lose my principles. Cause my morality that I have, my moral standard, my moral compass, is based on me. I look at everything, and this is the way it should be for everybody. Religion helps us. Do I like religion? Not necessarily. Do I agree with the things they say? Not all the time. But we do need something because we as human beings, we're trying to find moral superior or moral, those values. And then we're trying to find those standard level of values for our morality, but we don't really know where to get it from, because say we pray to God, and well, God's gonna do this, or God is gonna judge us for this. But in the essence of God, when you really break down the essence of God, God would just be a creator and nothing more. What's the point of creating something and always being in control and say, hey, you follow these laws, these rules and stuff? What's the real point of that? Like I said, we talked about before, there really is only one universal law, the law of the mind, mentalism. You think it, therefore it exists. You don't think it, it doesn't exist. You find ways to bring it into existence. And then, like I said, I don't really like to go into good and evil or heroes and stuff because you go into basically say a let's take a celebrity or whatever. Take a celebrity, take Harvey Weinstein, right? At some point in time, you probably watched one of his movies, right? You watch his movies or his TV shows. I think he has TV shows. Does he do Law and Order? Nah, I don't think that's the guy that does Law and Order. But anyways, you watch his TV shows or his movies, and you see that he donates money and stuff. He helps out charities. Oh, he's a good dude. But then you turn around and see all these sexual assault cases, Rose McGowan and all these other allegations and stuff come out. Then you're like, man, now he's a bad dude. No, he was always good and bad. You just only saw what you saw. If you give, you receive. If you receive, you give. What we talked about, I think it's at the 8th or 9th universal law, gentrification or generation. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, you give and you receive, and it goes back to another universal law, polarity, which also goes to positive and negative. So anytime you give, you receive. Anytime you receive, you give. Like I said, I buy something new, I make sure I give something away too. I also try to keep a minimalistic lifestyle for me and my kids, and I try to teach them those things too, because from minimalism lifestyle, you just have the minimum. You have what you need to have, and not necessarily abundance. I was talking with someone the other day, like we think about modern society. You know, what are you gonna do to survive? You get up, you go to work, all right, because you earn money. Now you have the resource, you have the tool to survive. So what's your next step? Oh, we need a place to stay, right? So you get a place to stay, a place to live at. You do that. Cool. Now what do you need? Well, obviously you need food and water. So the three things in life you need is shelter, food, and water. Now you have a place to stay, a place to stay at. You have a place to live, your own domicile, your own shelter, something you call your own. So you're safe from predators or anybody trying to come in. Safe to an extent, because they want to come, they can come. But you have a way to defend yourself, do you not? All right then. So the next thing is, all right, well now I need water. Well, you pay for water. Now is it the best water? Fuck no. Interesting enough though, why can you not collect your own rainwater and filter out yourself? Can you? Depending on where you live at, you can and you can't. But we have all these factories and everything industrialized and stuff in this capitalistic world or industrialized world we live in. So, all right, you go to the grocery store. Go to the grocery store to get food, right? And you go to the grocery store to get water. Because you're not doing it yourself. Why do yourself when you earn the money to go out and buy these things and make it more what? Convenient. Now is a problem because now do you buy enough for what you need? Because there's nothing wrong with you going to the grocery store every day to buy lunch and dinner. Or every morning you wake up, okay, as long as you have some breakfast items maybe, or yeah, you wake up, you do what you need to do, and you make sure that at some point during that day, you or the night before, you stay in preparation. But that sounds ludicrous, right? You're probably thinking like, bro, ain't nobody's gonna do that shit. You're right. Nobody's gonna do that shit. So what's the next step? The next logical step is to get abundance of what you need because I don't want to go to the grocery store every day. That seems a lot. It would be easy to just go one time and buy a bunch of stuff, maybe for a couple weeks, hey, maybe for a month. Now you're stacking resources, right? So once you stack resources, you're no longer surviving necessarily. You're surviving until what? The next month, until the next paycheck. But in between then, what are you doing? Living. Oh, wow. You're actually living in between the time that you don't work or the time that you don't sleep or the time that you're not taking care of responsibilities around the house and things like that. You're actually living. But then again, taking care of things around the house, responsibilities, is living. Is it not? So now think about your millionaires, your billionaires, your Jeff Bezos, your Jay-Z, your Warren Buffett. Now think about them. Can we really fault them for continuing to amass an abundance of resources in order for them and their families and their friends and their generations of family to keep living? And this is something I've been dealing with because I know I've been on here before, and I'm like, oh, the elites and they're doing this and that. But like I also said, had to take some time spiritually to come to an understanding. Like, hey, these people are just trying to survive, and the best way to survive is to ensure that you have an abundance of what you need to survive: shelter, food, water. And at some point, they just say, hey, where do you stop at? 1 billion, 2 billion, 100 billion? Just keep on going, because now you're like, well, I need enough money for this. I need enough money for that. And now you just keep piling on more money, more money, more money. Because that's what happens in society. That's what happens in break it down to tribal mentality. Are you doing enough for the tribe, for everybody? Or are you doing enough for yourself? And you look at everyone else like, hey, you figure out how to fucking live on your own. I'll help you a little bit, but, well, how come you have more than I do? Oh, because I'm trying to make sure I'm secure over here. I don't know why you didn't get enough fruits and berries and plants and stuff for the winter season. Oh, you fucked up? Was that thing? I think I remember as a kid where the squirrel stacks up the acorn, because this is how they teach you about hibernating for the winter and all that stuff. So the squirrel stacks up the acorn. What is the squirrel gonna do? Are you trying to make it just through the winter, or are you trying to have more than enough just in case something happens? How much food do I need? Do I need enough food for a month? Or do I need a little bit more food just in case something happens? Will the store shut down? Hell, and see, 2020 has put this all in our thoughts even more. Because now we're like, oh shit, these motherfuckers will tell you, you can't go outside. They will shut down certain stores. They will wipe shit out and call it safety measures. Meanwhile, people still die. So it makes you wonder. It makes you really think about good and evil and who can you fault, right? As I segue back into Breonna case thing, which I said fucking earlier. But it makes you think about Breonna Taylor case, because I know I mentioned before that I did a whole podcast about police brutality and things like that. But if you remember towards the end that I even questioned, is it actually police brutality? Because if there's only 1,100, deaths from police shootings a year out of 330 million, probably way more once the census is complete, 330 million people in America, bro, that's nothing. That's nothing. Now, the best number is 0. But is that practical? Probably not. So the only goal is to continue to progress and lower that number. Less people being shot. What? How many unarmed black men are shot by police every year? Say there's like 30. 30 out of like 20 million black males. Adult black males. Hell, say I got the numbers wrong, because I looked them up, and these numbers are based on 2018. I think I went over one episode. So say I got the numbers wrong, right? Let's say it's 10 million. I mean, you're still talking about 26, 30, 35, 40 something people, man. 0.00000 some percent of the population of the total. You can live with that. Now, is it right? No. Is it wrong? Not really, because you're trying to lower the number. It just is what it is, man. The expectations of human beings is just doesn't make sense. We still haven't saw why we kill each other. Yet we're trying to figure out other things that we're not really trying to figure out. So the whole Breonna Taylor case, man, don't fucking get that tongue twister. Peace to her and her family and whatnot. They got $12 million in the lawsuit settlement. Just throwing it out there. But, because nobody wants to speak bad about the dead, or nobody wants to say anything. But it's not a negative thing. It's not a knock on anybody. It's not anything. It's just stating the obvious. So my big issue with the whole case was, and I mentioned before, the no knock warrant. I don't think there should be a no knock warrant. Pretty sure is that the Fourth Amendment, right? Pretty sure it's the Fifth Amendment, something like that. It's amazing how Americans don't know shit about the laws and how to establish business and things within this country. But you get an immigrant coming here and take the fucking citizens test, and they can answer shit that we Americans don't even fucking know about. That's interesting too. Why people coming into the country know more about the country and how it operates than the people that actually live here. But whatever, that's another episode. That's time for another day. I don't want to make this too long. But so with her case, I thought it was the no not warrant thing is the thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. But at the same time, what really got to me was just the no knock warrant thing. But what really got to me was it was like, oh, she's an EMT, and but the cops weren't there for her. They were staking out, monitoring her boyfriend because he's a known drug dealer and involved in criminal activity or whatever else. So my first thought was, damn, sucks for her. But then you can't ignore the obvious. You have to take accountability. You have to take accountability for your actions. If you know you are involved with someone that is involved in these things and whatnot, and the media doesn't even always give us the full details. You have to search for these details and stuff. Police are highly criticized. They have body footage. They have body cameras, and they are highly criticized. Now, is there police department and stuff that are probably involved in corruption? Of course, you always have that small percentage. But for what? One out of every 100? One out of every 200? One out of every 300 police departments throughout this country have some issues where and then you can have the corruption goes from the police department to the district attorney's office and possibly the state attorney's office, depending on how high or elevated the case gets. And it's almost like nobody ever watched the episode of Law and Order or even Law and Order SVU. Like, it's like nobody understands what a grand jury is. A grand jury of your peers. So in order for this thing to be, racist or whatnot, the way they're pulling it out, because Black Lives Matter is supposed to be racist, well, the district attorney or the attorney general for Kentucky is black. I think the judge was black, and some other people were black too, as well. But sometimes you can't just look, not even if you don't know the full facts. What we initially knew about the case was that they were there for her boyfriend. And her boyfriend, like I said, was a known drug dealer and was involved in different things. So that there alone makes you're already putting yourself in harm's way. You're already putting yourself involved where you can easily be involved in a search warrant or a potential arrest, which she was. And then as the facts came out, because I've been in a courtroom before. I was thinking about a story the other day that I guess I got a lot of stories that I even forget about, which we all do. But I've been in a courtroom before. It was over an individual I work with, and he was testifying, which people knew on base was testifying, and he told people too. Which I'm like, God, why are you telling everybody? Shit, man. But yeah, I had to go. This is while I was in Montana. I had to go up to the county jail. First, I had to get a government vehicle because as an NCO non-commissioned officer, and I'm doing official government business, so I couldn't use my own car, which is fine by me. Ain't wasting my fucking gas. That's all I think of. I was like, I'm not wasting my gas. I don't even know why I did it. I don't know if they told me to do it, or I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it. Either way, it didn't matter. But I went up to the county jail, to the outskirts of the city. And I picked him up, and he was in handcuffs and stuff, whatever. And they was like, you want to keep him in these? I looked at him. I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, I can do this? I can keep him in handcuffs? And he looked at me. He was like, no, man. No, come on, man. Don't do that to me. I was like, oh, no, you can take him off. That shit made me laugh, man. Like, I can keep him in handcuffs? This is funny as hell. But it was during the time when like the K2 spice thing was going in the military. You know, everybody's trying to find some drug to use because, well, we all fucking are depressed and contemplate suicide or something going on with our lives where you either depressed or you lying about you being depressed, but you're showing all the signs and symptoms of depression. Whether your vice is alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, and stuff, the tobacco chew spit, whatever, or you find yourself engaged in something. We're all trying to find coping mechanisms in the military, no matter what your job is, no matter anything, because it's just the culture of the military. Work, 24/7. You're on call. Work. Oh, oh, what about my family? Oh no, your family is first, but we need you to work. Oh, your kid's in the hospital. Oh man. So, when you think you'll be back to work? This shit literally happens to me, right? Shit happens to me, plenty of times. Happens to everybody. Oh, I gotta take my kid. They're sick. Oh well, let me know when you get done. We're kind of short here at the shop. We need you to come back. Oh, okay. Then you get back and you're like, oh yeah, y'all really need me, huh? Y'all don't fucking need me, bro. You're just trying to fucking make sure I'm here for every fucking reason so you don't get yelled at instead of you standing up for yourself and telling them exactly what's going on. But I digress. So let me stay on track. So with the Breonna case thing, you gotta take accountability, man. And then some of the facts did come out and stuff, and I've watched different content creators and stuff. I can't think of their names right now. I think the Tatum report. He's like a Trump supporting black dude, which some people might find very oh my God, he's an Uncle Tom or he's this and that or a sellout. No, there's probably a way more. And I wouldn't even call them conservatives because a lot of people that are going towards Trump are like myself. They're not conservative. They're not anything. We're just tired of bullshit. Trump himself is not conservative or anything. Nobody has no real political ideologies and stuff, man. It's just things. Like, even when you think about it, it's just everybody just wants to be on a certain team. That's all. Because that's how we see things. It's either this or that. Like I said, the law of polarity. It's either this or that. Yin yang. Correspondence. Shit don't make sense unless I put in relevance to something else. How do I feel like I'm on the right side? Well, I need to find the wrong side to justify me being on the right side or the correct side. But for me, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's like, does shit make sense or not? To me. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Does shit make sense or not? To me. I don't care about your ideology, your left, right, liberal. It's all these things are different labels. When it comes down to government, it's either about does the government want to have control or do they want to have a minimum amount of control? And would you say, oh, that's usually how the conservative side or the right side does it, or this is usually how the left side and the liberal side does it? Whatever, man. Left, right, doesn't matter. They all get in there, they do whatever the fuck they want to do and become part of the control thing. But in her case, like I said, you have to take accountability. And the people that I was, like I said, the Tatum report, and then I did my own research anyways too, and looked up. Of course, they provided links in their descriptions and things to the resources, whatever. One of the things was that, and these are the evidence and things that came out during the case, or well, during the grand jury trial when they present all the evidence and try to figure out do they bring enough charges to actually charge them and then go to trial. If nobody understood, it seems like nobody really understands the justice system. Cause like, oh, the justice system in America is messed up. I used to say shit like that too. But then I really had to stop it and think, because I'm like, we like to say a totality statement, like a generic, like we put everything into a generic category. Oh, the justice system in the United States is messed up. But really, there's a justice system in your district, in your city, in your county, in your state. You're going through levels. It's like they keep saying, "Oh, Trump messed up. He's killing everybody, the coronavirus and stuff. He's failing his country." Why are you not talking to your city council, your commissioner, your mayor? Why are you not talking to these motherfuckers, right? Why are you not talking about if anybody resides or go about the school district for each county? Why are you not talking to your, I don't know, governor? Maybe your local representatives in Congress, senators. It's funny because we have all these different checks and balances and all these different in place, all these different people in positions and places and stuff. Yet it's like we don't want to put blame in certain areas, or are we just told to put blame in certain areas, and our emotions are guided? Because if you're constantly reading the news, whatever news you read, whether you read the left side or the right side, they're always pointing the blame or something towards somebody else. You have to really dig to even find, real, actual, fucking factual news. Like, I just care about the facts. That's it. Let me make my own decision. And at the end of the day, you're probably still like, who gives a fuck? I got my own fucking life. I got my own problems. So you go into, you have all this evidence and stuff, and then during the grand jury, it comes out that, well, the boyfriend shot first. He had the gun. And Breonna Taylor was not asleep. And once again, of course, do your own research, read the court documents and stuff, and then even if you think the court or the prosecution, everybody's lying, go back and remember that the family took $12 million in a settlement case. They were suing the city as far as a civil suit, but they took $12 million. So once you take that money, once you take that settlement, that shuts up everything. Now you're into NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. No difference than Colin Kaepernick, because what is my podcast about throwing a shot at a celebrity? No different than Colin Kaepernick saying that he was being blackballed by the NFL, putting the NFL out there into, this happened last year. How quick will we all forget? It happened last year. Putting it out there that, he's being blackballed by the NFL and stuff, him and Eric Reed, and they're taking the NFL to court. But then you settle. And part of the settlement is NDAs are attached, and we'll never fully know the actual real details of it all. So all the people that supported you, all those people that backed you, will never actually know what really transpired amongst the NFL owners, and if they actually blackball him or not, because he took the money. I think the money was like $80-some million. Oh wow, bro. I get it. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that maybe he took the money for, reasons to, I'll take this money, I'll help out these different impoverished communities and stuff, whatever, which I don't know if he actually does. But let's give him that. All right, he does that. What about the people that have been backing you and supporting you? Now they have no idea exactly what's going on, whether you was telling the truth or not. Because what do you do when there's a settlement? What does that mean? That money is hush money, meaning they'd already done crunched the numbers and like, you know what? Let's give them the fucking money because we lost this X amount of money, or we could lose X amount of money. Let's give it to them because we could lose more money than not. And oftentimes people think, oh well, since they were willing to give out the money, that means they were wrong. No, it just means it's not right or wrong when it comes to business. All they care about is how much money they're gonna make and lose. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to, because they can be proven right during the case, but do they want to pay court fees? Because that's what's going to happen. They'll have to pay their court fees, because in order for them to win, they're going to have to pay high-priced lawyers, and high-priced lawyers ain't cheap. You have to worry about marketing, because you have to plan, you have to strategize how you're going to, market this all and stuff, and what you're going to do. But, whatever. It is what it is. Once again, I digress. So with the case and all the evidence coming out, and that she wasn't asleep, that she was awake, and then that the boyfriend admitted that he did knock, that he did hear a knock and stuff, and then that even though it was a no-knock warrant, they still knocked, and unidentified witness heard them say that they knocked and they identified who they were and stuff. If someone, from my experience being around law enforcement and my military training, which basically everyone in the military, no matter what branch, has some type of military training where you know how to go into a household or do something. I guess it depends on where you go. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, you still kind of have maybe some basic idea. You talk, if anything, you talk about it, even when you don't go through the scenarios. But knowing that they didn't come with a SWAT team, they weren't coming really there to fully armed shoot people. They came with backup, but it wasn't, hey, we're ready, we're fully vested, we got the SWAT with us and stuff. We're ready to go into a heavy fight. So, far as I know, I don't want to mistake and say the wrong thing, but if my memory is correct, it was just a couple officers. It was, I think two officers was doing the search warrant, but they had backup, and then the officers didn't necessarily know what the search warrant was for, but they knew it was an authorized search warrant and stuff. And the one cop got wanton endangerment because he shot into the household without knowing who was there and stuff. So yeah, but you have all these things come out, and you have that Breonna Taylor was an EMT, but at the same time, she had been fired as an EMT long before I guess this happened. And one of the reasons she was fired was because she had a rental car and there was a body found in the rental car. Huh, that's odd. And they had Breonna Taylor on tape going in and out of these houses. So I've been around police investigation. I talked to you before about me being want to do a OSI, Office of Special Investigation, in the Air Force, and things of that nature. And there are always good cops and bad cops. There's always good people and bad people and stuff. I will never not be one not in favor of cops and law and order, because even though I hope that one day we evolve to where we don't need it, but the reality is, no, we're not nowhere near that type of evolution, and we need these things. And I'm not even a law and order person, because I do whatever the fuck I want to do. So I abide by laws, but because I choose to, for whatever reason I choose to do it, and mainly because I just don't want to do these things. But you have these. You have the I've been part of OSI and stuff, and investigations and stuff, and you have these times where they just sit and monitor people for months on end, bro. They just sit and collect as much evidence as they want to. And that was part of my problem with when the OSI is like, and that goes with law enforcement investigations. Like, in order to take people down, you have to sit and monitor. But I don't want to just take people down. I really just want to prevent the crime from happening at all. But I also understand where they're coming from. That the mindset of these people are going to do it. They already committed to it. So we need to take them down before they do any more damage. So I easily see both sides of the argument. But that's why I really kind of stepped away, because I didn't want to do that. Because if I was questioning my own morality or the different mentality before I got in, I definitely knew I was going to put myself in situations where, I was going to feel some type of way, which I'm sure every police officer or anybody in law enforcement investigation, hell, even the military, you have to question. You have to question whether or not I was going to shoot a kid if they had a bomb strapped to them, or if I'm going to shoot this person as I'm searching them and stuff, and they're coming through the ECP, not the ECP, the CP, the checkpoint. I don't even know why I even try to use some other abbreviation, but as they coming through entry checkpoint, yeah, ECP, yeah. So as they try to come through the checkpoint and stuff like that, you think, are you gonna shoot this person or not? So there's a lot of things that are heavy, and I don't think we really. I think people understand, but the media definitely does, especially now because they're trying to abolish the police and shit. Which Colin Kaepernick came out and said, "Oh, we need to abolish the police." Bro, we know you're protected by security. What do you think those security people are? Former military, police officers and stuff. Like, hell, they're an extension of police, really, because they legally are allowed to be a security officer. Whatever, man. Anyways, so as people think about abolish the police, hey, I ain't trying to abolish nothing. Because you want to abolish the police, guess what they're going to replace? Robocops, motherfucker. They fucking, if anything, not in Robocop, they got quantum computers. They gonna fucking use that real, god damn it, I can't think of the Tom Cruise movie. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Tom Cruise movie with the precogs and stuff. Minority Report. There we go. We're one step away from Minority Report. So you want to abolish the police? Guess where we're gonna be at? Minority Report. You're gonna be afraid to even think anything negative ever again, because they're gonna come and fucking knock down your door and take you away because you thought about killing somebody. Bitch, we'll all be locked up, man. So, but just because I criticize police officers or talk about police brutality, you're supposed to talk about this thing. We're supposed to be on, the checks and balances within our own society, within our own civilization. These are our social contracts between each other. Like, hey, who keeps everybody in check? We do. We all keep each other in check and stuff. So, but she had all these things and all these different evidence came out and stuff with her. Like I said, go back to, we all know. If you know you're dating a known drug dealer or not, I'm not even talking about, small time drugs or weed or, I'm talking about they're not, no one's wasting their time on small time drug dealers because it literally is a waste of resources, not and time. It's a waste of department resources, money, time, all that stuff. They go after the big fish. We all know that. We all know that because a little guy can't do nothing unless the big fish is supplying. So, and then you have your different levels of, middlemen in between and stuff. So if they're going after her boyfriend, that means he's involved in some shit that they really are trying to get, crack down on or whatever. They're doing their job, power social contract, because this is what we have police officers for. This is what we all agreed to, right? I guess we don't agree to it, or we just know it. Even though, what happens when you have an issue, domestic violence or domestic dispute, or argument with your spouse or whatever, or something, anything out in public, who you calling? You calling police. Because we know we need mediators. We know we need a third person to be that middle person to find the truth. Because in between, you have two sides. Whether it's positive or negative, whether it's right or wrong, whatever, there's your polarity. And those are two opposite ends of the spectrum. So in between is the truth somewhere in the middle. So you need that third person to be your arbitrary, your mediator, your middle person. I don't know if I use arbitrary right, but whatever. You need that person. So that's what we have. And police officers enforce policies. Law enforcement officers enforce laws. Pay attention to how they're worded and stuff within each city, right? Pay attention. But they're not gonna go through all these different things if if he wasn't actually into something. Because at the end of the day, it's a waste of money. Like I said, follow the money. Pay attention to the money. They're being paid on the clock, or they're getting paid overtime to do this, or to follow this, or monitor her and her boyfriend, or whatever. That means it must be something serious going on, enough to garner their time, money, and attention. So they're not just about to do it for no reason. Unless they were part of corruption too, which I was part of thinking like, oh man, were they part of corruption and everything and stuff too? But the media came out and said all these different narratives and stuff. But meanwhile, the police department knew exactly what's going on, because when you're part of that case, when you're involved in investigations, you know exactly what is going on. You know exactly what is going on. I did something before for OSI where, as far as like being around drug dealers and talking to a drug dealer, like they told me it was a drug dealer right off the bat. They're like, hey, get cozy this drug dealer stuff. They have these connections stuff. We're trying to help the local PD and stuff take these things down, and we know they're probably supplying drugs to people on base, so that's why we're involved in it. They tell you, they know what's going on, and then the people that are doing drugs, they know that they know that the law enforcement agencies are onto them. Yet what they still do, they continue to do what they're gonna do. And I know everyone knows that one person through family, friends, association, a couple degrees of separation, or whatever. You know that these people are into things, and they're either gonna get caught or they're not gonna get caught, and it's only a matter of time. Even a simple slip up. So for people to come out and be like, well, Black Lives Matter, and they went and killed a black woman and all that other stuff, not once did. You don't really hear too much of the media and people talk about, hey, why is she with this dude? Why is she with this dude? Right? Why did she get fired? Right? What is going on here? Why? If she knows he's involved in this, why is she at there? Why is she still with him? Why are we not blaming the boyfriend? Why we don't blame the boyfriend? If somebody wants someone to blame, if Breonna Taylor is a victim, why not blame the boyfriend? Seems to me, Breonna Taylor is a victim of making a bad decision. Life choices. And that might sound harsh to you, but you know why it sounds harsh? Because it's the truth. Because it's the truth. It's things I tell my kids, things my parents told me. You need to be accountable. Hey, pay attention to who you hang out with. My dad used to tell me growing up, hey, I know some of your friends in your neighborhood and stuff, pay attention because some of y'all ain't gonna make it in life. And I can see which ones. And as I grew up, and he kept watching and monitoring, he saw, and then we found out which ones. I got family members that went down the wrong path and stuff, and it's no surprise to me because I knew as a kid, like, hey, he's a little off, bro. Like I'm off, I get it, but he's really off the wagon. Like it's only a matter of time. And I talked to that individual before they even got in trouble with something, and they still went out and did the shit they wasn't supposed to do, and got in trouble. So I have family members that have gone to prison and jail and stuff when they should have not done the things they should have not fucking done. Take accountability, man. And that's what it is. Like, we want to blame the cops for going in and doing these things because we have a social contract that we have police officers that we want police officers to enforce the policies. Now, drugs, I'm not a fan of drugs and stuff, as far as drugs being illegal. I don't like that. But it is what it is. They're illegal. So, when you're involved in these illegal activities, you put yourself at risk. And then that's what comes with the territory, man. That's what comes with it. Ain't that the street life, right? What they say, oh, hey, no snitching in the streets, no snitching in the streets and stuff. But then Breonna Taylor is a victim, even though she's part of the street life. Because if you're with someone that's knowingly running the streets and doing these things, you're associating yourself with them. Pay attention to your circle, the people that you surround yourself. So you have Black Lives Matter going out spewing, oh look at this, look at that, but they don't care about Black Lives Matter. I don't reach a level of frustration with their hypocrisy because it's so blatant. They don't care about Black lives. I had a conversation with someone before, like, hey, I don't like Black Lives Matter. I don't like, LeBron James or athletes talking about Black Lives Matter, and I say that's their politics. I say it's their politics because Black Lives Matter is political. I say they're political because, well, if you go to their website, and I know they took down their page and stuff where about what they believe in, and I read it before in the past and stuff. They're not just talking about like they're all over the place. Like it really is like a communist political movement and stuff. But we all know we don't want to hear that word communism or socialism because we identify it with Nazis and stuff and things, Stalin, fascism. We don't want to have that. But at the same time, this is exactly what they're doing. And if you pay attention to their actions, and don't get the political thing stuff. All right, let's pay attention to their actions. They get all this money. Where the fuck does the money go? They don't even handle the money. If you go to their website and look at their I don't even know if you can find it on the about page or you can. If not, you can search for it and search for ActBlue, and ActBlue handles their donations, and ActBlue actively takes the donated money from Black Lives Matter Global Foundation, because that's the official trademark name of them. Black Lives Matter Global Foundation Network. God damn, what the fuck you had to say that shit for? So all those t-shirt sales and all those clothing and whatever else and stuff, and those money donations, because it's a for-profit organization. I believe so. It's a for-profit organization, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe, because it's actually the Black Lives Matter Foundation, which is ran by a small dude, and I forget, I think his name is Ray Barnes or something like that. And so people had confusion because they were donating money to him, and he was wondering, why am I getting all this money? But they were supposed to be donating to the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, or Black Lives Matter Foundation Global Network. You understand this? Things ain't complex or confusing unintentionally. This is by design. by design. Because like if you know you're gonna trademark, you're gonna do an LLC or whatever, or wherever the case may be, you're really gonna pay attention to what the fuck you're doing, because you don't want to get sued by anybody, because it all comes down to business and money. So you have the Black Lives Matter, the Act Blue, donate money to liberal parties and stuff, the Democratic Party, those things of that nature and stuff. But pay attention to what Black Lives Matter actually does. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter in black on black crime homicide though. What we don't see them talk about that. We see in racism. How about in murder? If we really care about oppression, if we care about why in police brutality only for black people, wouldn't the ultimate goal be to end police brutality for everybody? In fact, that should be your main goal. Yes, you're highlighting a particular issue, but your main goal should stop police brutality or police shootings, period. Because if you stop that, or if you limit that, then you succeed in your own personal goal. Am I wrong? I mean, these aren't complex ideas. These are just this is just obvious. Keep everything simple, man. Because when they try to switch it up, or they try to, oh well, this and that, they're trying to make it sound like it's complicated. And I always say, pay attention. Look at the obvious. If Black Lives Matter, they will definitely not be for abortion. They would definitely be protesting that because Black Lives Matter, right? Because whether you're for abortion or not, if you care about black lives, you definitely don't want no unborn black babies dead. How come no one ever advocates for adoptions? You know it's hard to adopt a baby in America? And why you always gotta adopt a baby from somewhere else? You have to be a certain level of income, and yeah, you have to be a certain level of income. And I want to say social status because based on what your income, it will be based on mainly your job or your occupation, and that all goes into your social status or what we perceive social status in society, in modern civilization. But they say they care about black lives and all things and stuff, but when a black cop dies, they don't give a shit. You don't hear nothing about it. And I say this because I read a lot of the leftist news or whatever things. Because as I'm reading for other things, I happen to see that. Mainly because I follow financial news and stuff, whatever. And it's funny because I follow financial news, yet I'm learning about, or I'm reading about, police shootings. Other things though. Forbes magazine love to do that shit. I try to I keep Ford on Twitter because I'm reading their articles about money, but they constantly tell me about other stuff too. But I just find it real interesting that Black Lives Matter, but not really. They don't talk about child trafficking. Hell, they don't talk about human trafficking. You haven't. Most people probably haven't realized that there's been a surge of child trafficking, child pornography, people being taken down. Not high profile people, but people in general. Happens all the time in my county, and it happens all over the place. And all these different operations, a joint operation I think it was in Georgia. Was it Operation Child Safety Net or Safety Net or something like that? And they rescued like 35 kids, or maybe they made like 35 arrests. I can't remember the number. But you don't ever hear these things. Like, why are we not stating the obvious? Just because you throw on a shirt that says Black Lives Matter doesn't mean nothing. It means you threw on a shirt that says Black Lives Matter, bitch. That's what it means. What are you actually doing? And I'm not talking about just the money, but I mean like your actual actions. What are you doing? What is going on? Because why am I not seeing the press of that? Because I'm trying to find stuff, and all I see, they donate money to this some neighborhoods. Well, what specific neighborhood, bro? Can I get a block? Can I get a street name? Can I get an address? Can I get a person to come on and say Black Lives Matter changed my life? Fuck, I just thought of that now. Have you seen a little black child come on, or even say a 18 to 35-year-old black male be like, man, Black Lives Matter Foundation really changed my life. Bro, have you seen that? I haven't. Like I said, state the obvious, bro. I haven't seen that shit. Like, and is that something that if it does happen, should I be searching for it? Because if you keep telling me Black Lives Matter, well, show me what you're doing. Why? I don't. The two women that founded Black Lives Matter Foundation Global Network, god damn it, tongue twister. Those people, those two women, they're trained Marxists, right? They admitted that they're trained Marxists. You know Karl Marx is? I was listening to the Communist Manifesto. This shit's like 88 pages long, but I'm in the first few minutes of it, and I'm just like, man, this dude is literally just sitting there saying how much he hates capitalism and stuff and despises it. But at the same time, I don't know, it's just kind of an odd thing. But I'm not all the way through, so I don't want to comment too much on it. But quick history lesson. I'm pretty sure Nazi party was socialist or communist, Mussolini, Stalin. You see what happens in Russia. The Communist Party took over China in their little civil war, I think 1945, 1946. I was reading their history the other day. Bro, history, that's why you read history. To figure out what the fuck happened to make sure this shit doesn't happen again. Not to reflect back and like, oh yeah, shit is still going on the same thing today. No, you can't take emotions from a time period that you didn't live in. You can only pay attention to the time period that you lived in and try to and make a comparison. Did things get better or worse? Because no one ever says things gotten worse. They just say, oh, things are still the same. But things are not still the same. Me as a black male in America, since y'all want to call me that, even though I'm not, but me as a black male in America that you'll label me, has what? Not the same opportunity as someone else. So all the things that I've achieved, all the things that I've done and stuff, it was, lack of, because I happened to persevere, even though the lack of opportunities were there. Does the amount of opportunities matter, or does it only matter that you pursued an opportunity? Do I need 100 different opportunities, or do I only just need one? Because my belief is all I need is one shot. And then what Eminem said in 8 Mile? You only get one shot. Do not let your chance to blow. What is the opportunity coming or not? You better lose yourself, right? You get one shot. Because for me, 99 out of 100 times, if I get that one chance, that's all I care about. That's why it's called Underdog Podcast. The odds are already against me. I already feel like the odds are against me, but I feel like the odds are against me because the odds are against everybody. No matter who you are, odds are you might not make it to that certain level of success. Odds are, but your own perseverance. Everybody that we deem successful in society has the money and doing the job they love and stuff. They persevered. They kept pushing through. They overcome their doubters. They overcome the doubts they had of themselves. They really just put in more effort. Not all of us are going to succeed or reach a certain level that we want to. And that's okay too. Are you surviving? Are you living? Do you have moments where you enjoy life? And let's be honest, not all of us are really going. Some of us going to fuck up at life, bro. And they need to hit the restart button. Hey, this life didn't turn out too good for you. You might need to respawn and try this bitch again, bro. That's all I'm telling you. And you know people in your life that are like that. And you're just looking at them like, oh, man. Bro, you just don't get it. You need to try again, bro. I don't know. Go to the back of the line and come back. Or I don't know what you need to do. Die, respawn, do whatever you need to do. I don't know, but it's just because apparently you just ain't getting it yet. So, like, we have all these things that Black Lives Matter is telling us, and I've been paying attention to Black Lives Matter, I guess, since 2000, pretty much since Michael Brown, maybe not before then. Well, I guess it's 2014. I've been paying attention to it, and I was following it. And when they first came out, I was like, I didn't like that they said Black Lives Matter. 'Cause I don't like the term black, and I don't like the fact that you're isolating yourself automatically. But I got where they were coming from, and people were like, "Oh, all lives matter" and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but they're trying to highlight a certain what they feel is an issue. But pay attention because things should progress, things should evolve. So they start out with Black Lives Matter, black males or males in general, or not males in general, black people in general being shot by police officers, or yeah, police officers. Because I guess you want to call that Trayvon Martin thing, but that's really like a stand your ground civil case. That's what it is in Florida, stand your ground. And you can argue and debate over that too, but that's what we'll figure it out. That's something we should do in society in general. But and then you have these as these were going along and stuff. I'm paying attention. I'm like, all right, now it's Mike Brown and stuff, and now it's I can't think of all the other names. They're in my head too. I just can't think of the names. I can't spit it out. I'll probably figure it out later. Eric Gardner and all. God, what's another name? I figured her name that was in the back of the van and stuff. Whatever you starting to have all these cases and stuff. But I'm like, okay, but there's other black people that have been shot by police that you don't even hear about that are really fucked up. We're only told about the things when it's white and black are just non-black and black. I forget the other dude that I think was killed in Minneapolis or somewhere in Minnesota. I forgot his name. But cause I seen a real fucked up video where a dude got shot because he dove quickly into his car to grab his license, like the officer asked him to, and the officer shot him, and then the guy was like, "Oh man, you shot me," and the officer like, "Oh man," he started freaking out. He said, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "Man." He's like, "I told you." I'm sorry. I told you don't move fast. He's like, "Well, you told me to get my license." It happens because both people are afraid. Both people are nervous. They're fearful of the worst case scenario because both people have constantly seen the worst case scenario. And training, as far as law enforcement and military, you're always shown the worst case scenario. You're always shown the graphic images of you possibly dying. They drill that into your head to make sure that you stay on edge so you don't fucking die. And part of making sure that you don't die is assessing any situation. And part of assessing the situation when it comes to assessing people, you profile. Because that's all you do is compare. The law of correspondence. All you're doing is comparing something to something else. Oh, if I see a black person in a hoodie, I'm going to think that he's going to do something dangerous because I've been watching these training videos of black people in a hoodie and stuff. But it's not about a black person in a hoodie. It's just that the individuals that they kept seeing and stuff. Or when you watch on TV and movies and stuff, that's what you see. Or just a person in a hoodie in the middle of the night in general. Maybe you just think they're just up to something, nefarious or notorious, or yeah, they got some bad intentions. Are they doing something like that? All these things go through people's head and stuff. And you can easily make a mistake or overjudge or overcompensate or wherever the case may be, make the wrong decision, bam. Now you're affecting someone's life. But see, the story I'm telling you about, you don't even know about because the media never said anything. It never caught no attraction. It never caught no traction. It never got huge attention. They threw it out there, but no one really caught the bait. So they just tossed that aside and move on to the next story. Because that's all that's going on. And that's what gets me about Black Lives Matter is that they're not necessarily bringing up all these cases. It's only certain ones that are highlighted in the media that we talked about. And I say necessarily because I don't visit their website every day as they list different cases and stuff, but also don't see them talking about. I only see them talk about cases that are big in the media. Now I think I told y'all before about Yuri Bezmenov. Fuck, I can't forget his last name. But it talks about how you take over a country from within. This is part of it. You divide the country up. And Karl Marx, Communist Manifesto, things of that nature. People that follow that, this is how you take over it. This is part of communism. This is part of socialism. This is part of government takeover, which we already been involved in government takeover. If you haven't been paying attention, your rights slowly go away, right? censorship. You can't say certain things. You have to. Hell, they even fucking got to Joe Rogan. Let me transition off Black Lives Matter, cause I put enough of that shit. I might come back to it later, but man, they got Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan signed what, 40 million, 100 million, whatever contract with Spotify. Once he got to Spotify, people started realize like his most famous podcasts, like with Alex Jones and some other right wing people, they were taken down. And then Joe Rogan said something the other day. Oh man, I forgot what he said, but they didn't like that, and Joe Rogan came out and apologized. I think he was talking about what was he talking about? He was talking about the Portland fires, and he was saying that there was a man that was arrested for setting fire in the Portland area, or probably helping or contributing to those wildfires and stuff like that. And he was saying these fires are being deliberate. But he said that he came out on his Twitter and apologized that he misspoke or he said something without fully knowing the whole facts and stuff that didn't even sound like Joe Rogan. That didn't even sound like he does that. And even if he did do that, all right, no big deal. Oh, because what he was saying was basically that these leftists or Antifa groups or whatever the case may be are doing things that are setting fires on purpose, acts of terrorism, domestic terrorism, violence, whatever you want to call it, which I really don't like the phrase domestic terrorism, but I don't like the word terrorism either. Motherfuckers doing some shit. I don't like it. You gotta pay attention to how they label things and throw the law around. But then again, domestic terrorism and terrorism really came around, what, 9/11? It was around before, but you really start hearing after 9/11 in the Patriot Act, in the Department of Homeland Security. Domestic terrorism. There you go. Can't have one without the other. But he coming out apologizing and stuff. Like, damn, bro. Damn. And then I think he had apologized or it was alluding to, he said some transphobic thing. I was listening to somebody and it once again point out the obvious. Why would we say phobic? Isn't phobia a fear or something? So how can you be homophobic if you phobia and phobic? So are you saying that you have a irrational fear of homosexuals because you don't like them, or are you having a rational fear of transgenders because you don't like them, or do you have a rational fear of them? Like, or I don't understand that word. So I have an irrational fear of transgender because, or I don't like them because you don't agree with them, or because you wouldn't do it yourself. If someone says, homosexuality is something they don't agree with, what they're saying is it's something they wouldn't do themselves, and they probably wouldn't want for their spouse or for their children. But after that, they don't give a fuck. I mean, does anybody really give a fuck? Extended past your spouse and your children, anybody in your immediate family, your parents. After that, do you really care? And let's be honest, do it. And for the most part, you don't want them to be a certain way, or because you don't want yourself to be that way. So you worry about yourself. You're concerned about yourself. But at the same time, they make their own choice. They make their own choice, and you just live with it. Can you hear oftentimes people like, oh, I'm not racist. I have a black friend, and people are like, oh, just because you got one black friend means you're not racist. Actually, yes, it does. That's exactly the whole point. The definition of racism is that you hate other races or whatever for whatever reason and stuff that you created in your own mind. But you have this one black friend. So does a Ku Klux Klan member have a black friend? And if they do you think the rest of the Klan members will allow them in the Klan? Man, what the fuck we be talking about sometimes, man? Like, this shit is fucking wild, man. This shit it makes me laugh. If you can't find the humor in this, I don't know what to tell you. Cause you have to laugh at this shit, man. You really have to laugh at this. Like I said, am I a Nazi if am friends with a Jew? You don't think Hitler would have probably killed me by now? Or, if I'm in Nazi Germany and stuff during that time? Like, so one side says, oh, you're racist One side saying, "Oh, you're still racist because you have that just because you have one black friend, you're a white person, you're still racist." And say I'm in the KKK, I'm a white person, and it's like, well, you're not really like us because you have that one black friend. It's people just say shit just to say shit without actually paying attention to what they're saying. Wanna know why? Because it's emotions. That's all it is, emotions. You're not using those emotions as motivations to think about what is going on. You just run off those emotions because we're emotional beings. We're sentient beings. So you have to pay attention to how we handle our emotions. I have to catch myself how I handle my emotions. And so I was watching, reading the Breonna Taylor things and watching stuff on YouTube. I had to catch myself. I'm like, oh, don't get too emotional because there's no need for it. Do I have empathize and I sympathize with both and everybody in all parties of the situation? People lost their lives. People got injured. But no one wants to really take a step back and say, hey, how can all this be prevented? The first thing you say, oh, well, it's racism. That's it. No, no. Take a step back, look at the overall big picture, and say, hey, how can all this be prevented? Everyone could have done something differently in this scenario, in these situations. You can look at George Floyd. Oh man, he shouldn't have been. Hey, he knew they were calling the cops on him or whatever. Even if he didn't knew the cops were being called on him, I'm sure he had. I know he had some type of dispute or something with them, but he sat in the car and waited. Could have just left. Crazy concept, right? You see what his friend did. The passenger, he was like, I don't know. Hey, I talked to them. They left me alone. Interesting. Even till this point, you still have not seen his girlfriend because she's white. Black lives don't matter, or black lives only matter, right? She's white. George Floyd, George Floyd's girlfriend was white, and you didn't even see her at all. You saw his cousin. You saw one of the mother of his kids. I think you seen his family member, brother. Hell, you seen his best friend Stephen Jackson, who just wildly crazy, just looks just like him, right? This is some wild shit, bro. Stephen Jackson looks just like this motherfucker. I've been watching Steve. I've been watching basketball since I was a kid. I remember the Malice in the Palace of Detroit. Stephen Jackson. I remember you being there, throwing punches and stuff in the fans, in the stands with the fans, whatever. I didn't know you had a fucking twin brother. Oh, he's not. He's your friend. He's your lifelong friend. That's crazy. We never heard of this motherfucker. We never seen him together till after he died. But whatever. Just a crazy coincidence. That's all. But man, sometimes you gotta take a step back and think about these things, man. And don't get caught in these emotions and stuff. And it's funny how because you can really just keep talking about this. You can point out a case almost every day or every week how they just all these different divisive topics are thrown out there. But they're not really divisive topics. They're only divisive if you let your emotions be fueled into them. You feed emotions into them, then they become divisive. But if you look at it with a balance of emotion, empathy and sympathy, and logic, you realize there's a lot of shit going on here. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But censorship is going crazy. People are profiles and on Twitter and stuff been taken down and things of that nature. You worried about Breonna Taylor case? Meanwhile, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are on an investigation in Ukraine. Epstein flight logs are going on, and they got a lot more. Why the fuck does Epstein have so many fucking planes? This dude's like a multi-billionaire that we don't even know about. Who lets you know that there's other people that we don't know about. Meanwhile, I just want a new Xbox and play my video games. It's funny how I went through all these different things, all the different topics and stuff. Because you can pay attention to all these things, man. Whether you work or not, no matter what goes on in your life, kids, family, friends, relationships, you can still pay attention to all these things. Because, hell, you only got to give it like a couple minutes out your day to figure out what's going on. Because the majority of the time, anything longer, well, now you're being emotionally fueled by it. So, it is what it is. But, I'm just gonna, I don't want to digress too much from the topic and go on to something else random. Pretty much said what I wanted to say. So, thank you guys for listening. And like always, until next time.